Hey everybody! Welcome back to Ladies Night at Whitey's. We haven't done these for a while, so we're all out of practice on the whole StreamYard thing, video thing. A couple of things before we get started with our guests. This weekend, which is what we're going to be talking about, we are going to be showing Crybaby with the Pink Boots Society of Greater Maryland. Amethyst and Rachel will be there. We're gonna talk about that in a couple minutes, and then tomorrow night. Charlie Stein from Old Line will be joining me. We'll be mixing some drinks. On Thursday night, on the Facebook page, we'll be joined by Sweetwater Brewing out of Georgia. We're going to talk to them about some of their new stuff. Pink Boots sing on Saturday. Next week is the Apple and Cider Festival on Saturday from 2 to 5. And local brewery Mano Negra is going to join us on Wednesday night. So just follow us on Facebook because I just did that in totally reverse order. Told you I was out of practice. Anyway, that's the business part of it for tonight. No music either. This is unusual for us. But anyway, without further ado, let's welcome in, as we welcome back Ladies Night at Whitey's, Rachel, Bradley, and Amethyst. Hello, from the Pink Boots of Greater Maryland. There you go. Tits up. All right. So before we get started on this, before we get comments, explain the tits up thing. I guess if you have Amazon, you know what it's about. Yes.
Well, yeah. So it's definitely been the term "tits up." Historically, appeared around World War II with the British Air Force, and when a plane would go belly up, the navigation system would make an upside down W, and they would say "tits up." The idiom then became when anything got failed or became a mess, it would be gone tits up. The show on Amazon, whose name I'm not going to say, brought back this phrase, putting it kind of a time appropriate to for their female characters, kind of as a flag of empowerment, to stand tall, be proud, be heard, take up space, tits up.
Okay, I got it. Now I kind of knew that, but I just wanted to, for people watching who might not have known. That's what it's about. All right, so let's talk about this whole collaboration. Now, this is exclusively Pink Boots Greater Maryland. It's not a Pink Boots National, correct?
Well, how it works is we were able to donate money to both. So 2,000 went to National and 2,000 went to the chapter. So for the chapter, we'll use that to fund back into things for our members and events and stuff like that. For National, they use that money to do scholarships for Pink Boots members to be able to go to Yakima and do a hop sensory course or, what have you. There's different kinds. There's marketing courses, and you can, as a member, you can apply every quarter for a new set of scholarships or grants.
Okay. What style of beer is it? I haven't gotten it at the store yet. Hopefully it'll be there Friday. That would be nice before the event. I'm sure it will be there Friday, but we get it on. We'll get it on Friday, but it's already in market, correct? In some spots, like in Baltimore and that area.
Yeah, so it's going to several states. I think it's about 8 states.
Really?
Or parts of states.
That's cool.
Yeah, very cool. Different areas. You can DM Duclaw if you're looking for in specific states. Let us know. But Maryland for sure. All of our Maryland distributors ordered this one or are able to get it. I know Hammond is supplying Whitey's for you guys for the event on Saturday. And yeah, hopefully it arrives by Friday.
Yeah, it should be there Friday. I talked to them last week and I was just like, I kind of need this beer for next weekend. So can we expedite whatever the check-in process is? That would be good to have it because It's kind of central to the whole theme of this event. What style is this beer? I know very little about it. So you guys have to tell me everything I need to know about it.
So it is a Neeple, a New England India Pale Lager. Untapped will say it's an IPL or a cold log. We call it a Neeple. It is the recipe that Judy Neff at Checkerspot developed for our Shades of Pink Boots release back in April. We have taken the hop profile, added a lot more Citron Mosaic to make it a lot brighter. And then we did some additives with some cherry powder and hibiscus to give it a colorful pink hue.
Okay. So it's basically an updated version of last spring, right? Pink Boots beer the same hop bill. Like Pink Boots beers generally are, you guys choose the hop bill. National Pink Boots picks the hop bill, right? Yeah. So it's basically that hop bill.
Yeah. So how it works is every year the chapters themselves actually submit suggestions on what they think the hop bill should be, and then National will pick the top 3 and send samples back to every chapter and say, anonymously, do you like blend A, B, or C? And then that's how the blend gets chosen. And then everyone pre-orders it for the following year at the end of the year before. So it is that same Pink Boots hop blend, but then with a little added extra Citra and Mosaic, like Amethyst was saying, to kind of brighten it up, just because I think this one was definitely came through a lot more fruity, little earthier, just because of the cherry powder and hibiscus, because we wanted to make it pink. It didn't come out pink, obviously taking a beer that's already like golden yellow and trying to make that into a pink color is kind of like any artist would understand. You can't make a primary color out of a primary and a tertiary color. So
yeah, we did reach out to True Respite. They had done their glittery Pink Boots was a really pretty color. And Bailey was very, very candid and said it is a lot of food coloring if that's your main focus. They wanted it to be, for them, they wanted it to be pink and have edible glitter. Right. We were really trying to do justice to Judy's recipe. She had done the shades of pink and was like, the profile just for her needed to be brighter. So we played with a lot of like adjuncts and
yeah, how does that work when you guys, well, first of all, let's talk about the 3 breweries involved: Duclaw, Checkerspot, and Eyck.
Yes.
Now, Eyck's all women owned. Obviously, Judy's the head brewer at Checkerspot, and the involvement of Duclaw, a lot on the Duclaw side of it was to get it out into market, I would say, correct?
Yeah, I think that was the backbone of our contribution, was being able to have the larger distribution footprint of the 3 breweries and kind of a more marketing power, be able to really send it out, pitch it to media kind of all over. So we're still in the midst of doing that, by the way. But yeah, and then the recipe came from Judy from Checkerspot, and then Eyck was supplying the hops for the whole brew. So it was really a collaborative effort between.
So this got released in Maryland first, and now after the Maryland release,
it's rolling out now. Yeah,
it's rolling out to other states.
Yeah, so distributors, sometimes they pick up, like Maryland, since we're based in Maryland, they're able to send a truck every week if they want to. Whereas some states, they only send a truck once a month. So
right.
It should be rolling out to everyone in the next week.
Okay, cool. Okay, yeah. So I forgot what I was going to ask you guys. There was something really important that I was going to ask you. Actually, let's see the beer, because Amethyst just poured the beer.
I did just pour the beer.
Yeah, that is pink.
It is in my Pink Boots, Greater Maryland. My favorite brewers wear pink.
Spin that glass around, because now Some of you guys have merch for this weekend, correct?
Yes. So the thing is, it's interesting. We knew the term tits up. It actually resonated with a lot of women at our initial collaboration day. And this was in April, but we also knew that it could be divisive. So we spent a lot of time researching, discussing, and we found overall that this Speak Out Tits Up became a battle cry. And every time we were presented to someone, they would just stand a little taller, be up and proud and know what we're doing. And we worked with Duclaw, and we purposely did it in October. We tied in with some breast cancer awareness organizations, and we created this merch. We were at the Baltimore Craft Beer Festival.
How did that go? Did you have the beer on tap? Charlie, our friend Charlie from Old Line gets the joke, by the way. He must have seen the original broadcast that we did about this, like in April, when we started talking about this for the regular Pink Poo. Yeah, so Charlie gets the jokes.
It really wasn't. I mean, yes, it's there, but it's not. That was not the.
That wasn't. Yeah, it just happens to be.
And we have to walk that line.
Right.
Part of being heard and part of empowering women in the industry. It's a fine line. It is. We do know that some people might.
Well, people take offense at everything, so it's very difficult. I mean, you guys are straddling a line, but it's not, to me, that line. I mean, there's some humor in it too, right? So you can't be so serious about everything. This is a beer made by women, essentially, for women, to empower women. So it's not designed to be divisive in any manner. Now, people, they're going to take things how they take things, which is unfortunate.
We're not making a booby joke out of it at all. Like, we don't want that to be what people take away from this at all. We want to reference that show and that empowerment that this character had, because she was a woman in the 50s going out on stage, doing stand-up comedy and saying things that a woman at that time were not supposed to say, or it was a male-dominated industry, and we just felt like we really resonated.
Kind of like beer now.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, we go out all the time. You're working a festival, and people will assume that you're not the brewer, or that you don't know anything about the beer, or stuff like that. So, Tits Up is not. I mean, there will always be someone who laughs at it and is like, haha, boobies, but that's not what we're getting at all. It's definitely an empowerment phrase, like you said, made by women, for women, giving back to women.
Did you guys pour it at the craft beer festival this weekend? Was it poured? No.
We just did kind of sign up sheets, sold merch, told people about Pink Boots and who we are. We were like a vendor.
The opening thing was at Max's, correct? The release was at Max's. How was the reception? I imagine it was great.
Oh, it was great. There were, there was a lot of women from the industry there being supportive. Tiana Foundation, which is a local breast cancer organization, was there. They host Breast Fest at Nick's Fish House. We had a lot of giveaways. We got a portion of the proceeds back. Not only was it our beer being released, but Max's went ahead and committed 17 tap lines to Pink Boot member breweries.
Really?
So all of those beers were highlighted on the menu and came back to the organization. And I will say, like, the whole kind of like breast forward, it was really about giving women that space. If I want to stand tall and I want to draw attention, that's mine. It is not permission. It's not consent. We talked to a couple of people about the best way to order the beer if they didn't feel comfortable and didn't want to offend a female beer server. But it was just really, it is okay that the humor is taken, as long as there's a dialogue that goes along with it. And that's I think, what like you were saying, the humor's there. Yeah. Okay. So you might smirk and chuckle to yourself. Now have the conversation with the women.
Right. Right. Yeah. I mean, I for me, that it was just like, yeah, I don't have any issue with it one way or the other. It's like, to me, it's just another beer. So, you know what I mean? It's just like beer now is so like, I guess it's like every aspect of everything, right? It's like there's always some sort of divisiveness, no matter what it is, you know, like the haze grows, the blah, 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 the blah, 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 the silent, all that stuff. So it's just like, when you're in the industry, I feel like I love this particular beer. And when I do these live things, the Tuesday night stream with women in the industry is my favorite, because I think it's generally the most interesting, and also shows people that like it's not just flannel shirts and beards. You know what I mean? And it blows my mind that there are still people that don't realize that. It's just alien to me that there are people out there that don't realize that women can brew beer and lift up a 50-pound sack of barley. You know, it doesn't resonate.
And women in the industry who aren't working on the back end are still just as valid. So
right.
An interesting thing that's been coming with this project is, what does it mean to empower women in the industry? And we've had very broad dialogues of topics I didn't even see coming, where what does it mean, how even within the industry as women and minorities, how we're supposed to represent each other.
Right.
And that's something that I don't think I planned for with this project. Yes, you know what? I'm a woman in the industry, and I want to, sometimes it's fun to be cute and witty, but everything has to be done with a level of respect and awareness. And we knew back in April that there might be a little discomfort, and we worked with Pink Boots National. We worked with people who are members on the national level,
right?
Just have this dialogue and bring it to the forefront. We posted the intention on several of our forums, looking for feedback. Now, the interesting thing this past weekend is there's a group of people who Tits Up means dead.
Really?
Like, that means you're lying dead on your back in the ground. I'm like, great. You know what? Another reason that we can make it mean whatever we want this to mean. And for me, it's a rallying cry. I spent a lot of my time in male-dominated environments where I would shirk my body and just try not to be any more feminine than I needed to be. And
the dialogue you had with those people, especially like not just the back of house people, but what did that mostly revolve around? I'm curious.
So this is for us, the beer and the promotional, bringing, calling to action, putting women in the industry in the forefront. There is, I guess, a need that to push forward the back of the house, the women who are brewing, the women who are carrying the bales, more diversity even within the female component of the industry. And I think because women are leading the charge right now of standing up and being seen, they're becoming the spokesperson for all diversity. And so when you build this movement, you're open to, you've got to invite everyone else along with you to charge forward.
We're going to talk about something, a Duclaw beer that just came out in a couple minutes with Rachel. This beer, actually, we're going to show it to you. But we'll talk about this a little bit because I feel like this particular beer ties into your into the your Pink Boots beer on some level, right? Because it's showing beer as a whole. It's helping with diversity, and it's showing what beer can do for people, for lifting people up. Let's talk about our event, and then we'll get into the opportunity awaits or knocks or whatever it's called. I'm a really good host. I don't even know what to Opportunity knocks works for me, but there you go. So Saturday, what are we doing? Besides showing a movie.
So we start at 3:00. There's going to be retro cars, and people can dress up, and there's going to be popcorn, and then we're showing the Hairspray musical at dusk. So.
And we really want people who are really into it to dress up kind of like Rocky Horror, but do the whole Hairspray thing. So this is in the parking lot at our store at Whitey's. We have a huge parking lot. The movie will be shown on the screen of the buildings. It'll probably start, if we start the event at 3, dusk now is what, 5:15-ish?
Yeah.
5:15, 5:30. So bring a chair, because we don't, unless you want to sit on the cold concrete, which you're welcome to if you want. Bring a chair, bring a date, bring food. There's G&M's right across the street. Olive Grove is up the street. There's a bunch of restaurants around us. There's a pizza joint not too far. So everybody's welcome to bring food. We'll have the beer for sale there. We'll have it in the parking lot for people to do it, other refreshments. And just come out and have a good time, dress up, hang out, look at some cool cars. We have plenty of room. If it looks tight, we have parking next door. We have a parking right across the street. So there'll be plenty of places for people to park and hang out and talk to Amethyst and Rachel and the other. I'm assuming there's going to be a number of women from Pink Boots, Greater Maryland there. You can talk to them about what they do, about beer in general. I think it'll be fun. I think it's a good way to launch this beer. I'm pretty proud that we're it for Anne Arundel County to have this beer. So I appreciate you guys bringing this up to me and allowing us to do this tonight. And it'll be a good event. Hopefully the weather will be decent. It's supposed to be good. A little cold.
I saw 54 degrees around 3.
Yes, but by the time the movie's over, 7:30, it'll be fine. Just dress a little warmer. That's all.
Drink more.
Yeah, drink more. There's a joke in there, but I'm not going to say the joke. But yeah, drink more and hang out with us and talk. Buy merch, right? Because you're gonna have plenty of merch. There it is. Look, gonna have all the T-shirts, the hats, patches. What else you got? Glasses.
We have giveaways. We've got some. We got stickers and we got pencils.
Ooh, pencils.
Send this to school with your kids.
That's very cool.
This is for your Scantron. The sad thing is, as much as technology has improved and we QR code everything, you are still taking Scantron tests in public schools with your number 2 pencils.
So the perfect pencil. So there'll be plenty of cool stuff. Come out and support us. So come out and support the ladies of Pink Boots, Greater Maryland. And yeah, I think it'll be fun. We'll have a good time. So I'm excited. It's our last movie of the year too. So we got to go out with the bang.
Yeah, let's do it. I've reached out to some of the car clubs, some of the pinup girl pages.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Let me get a drink here.
What is that beer you're drinking there, Rob?
Diet Coke. Very, very delicious. All right. So I do want to talk about this beer, actually, with you guys. So this just came out from Duclaw. What, about a week ago, 2 weeks ago? Rachel, tell us about this beer, and then we'll talk about what it's about. Because I'm pretty excited because I specifically took this 4-pack because two of the people on these are going to join me on a Tuesday night. Hannah Ferguson and M. Salter, whose Pints and Panels are actually going to do one of these things with me. So I'm particularly honored that they would put up with me for 20 minutes.
That's so awesome. I'm so excited they're going to be on the show.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited too. They were very enthusiastic about it. Actually, I reached out to M, who's on December 7th, I think, before I even knew about this beer.
Mm.
Which was cool. And then the beer came in, and I was just like, oh, look, she's on it. So that'll be cool. That'll be something to talk about. Yeah, obviously. So tell us about this series.
I will say one of the biggest takeaways from this project that we've had a year in planning now is I got so all the feel good feels after every meeting I've had with our coworkers about this campaign. After every meeting we've had with any of the 10 bio people or interviews at all, I just always got this amazing feel-good feeling, and it reminded me of why I love this industry and how quickly everyone is ready to just jump in and say yes and do big things. So I'll get that mushy-gushy stuff out of the way real quick. But so Opportunity Awaits kind of was born out of wanting to change our industry, or open eyes at least, and hold the door open to change and diversity starting from the ground up. So within our industry, how do we get new ideas, new people in our industry from different backgrounds with different skill sets? And basically our idea was to highlight people from the industry who have interesting kind of origin stories of how they got started, and whether they accidentally found their way in or were very persistent and made their way in, whether they came in with a journalism background or, what have you, all these different kinds of things. It was just a very fascinating project from start to finish about just the diversity that we can have if we hold the door open for more people to enter and show them how they can make it. So there's just different bios of people. We plan to do it again next year. And
so how did you find these people?
Lots of research, lots of team effort. I think the very first thing we did, we went to on Facebook on the Craft Beer Professionals page. I just posted, hey, who here got their start in beer through something that was not traditional, or tell me your story of how you got into the industry. And within a few minutes, there were over 200 comments of people just being like, I was a marine biologist, and then I did this, and then it led me here, or I was this or that. And it was just a very fascinating process from start to finish. And yeah, I do think that the beer ties in very well with Pink Boots, the Tits Up beer, just because, Tits Up is about taking up space, and especially within adversity or within your career, and women in the industry. So I think those two beers can go hand in hand in that sense of kind of empowerment for new ideas and women in the industry. I know you said, who was it? M and Hannah. Nice.
So this is, it must be exciting to have your face on a beer can, and then there's a QR code. So when you see them on the shelf, you can take a picture, and it's got the people's bio, correct?
Mm-hmm.
It talks a little bit about how they came into the business and stuff.
Yeah, so
it's kind of like a collect them all too. You could just have the whole story. I went through them a bunch of times, and I was like, oh, this one's got doubles on it, because every once in a while you get one with two of the same people, and I'd switch them out so they could all have everybody would have a different one. But yeah, so Hannah's coming on with me, I think the Tuesday before Thanksgiving, and M, who is coming on the 7th. And then in this 4-pack, who do I have here? Oh, I have 2 handers, so I do have doubles. Well, that was not. So this is Kenny Gould. And then is he the Hop Culture? Yeah, he's Hop Culture, which is a pretty cool story in itself, right? Like, he was a journalist, and then he just kind of found his way into beer.
Yeah, so we actually had a live interview with him on Duclaw last night to talk about his origin story, and it was basically he went to Duke, got his got interested in craft beer through running this like college club about homebrewing and stuff like that, and kind of the beer of the month review stuff, and it started his career path in journalism. And you can read his story on the Opportunity QR code, but basically journalistic background. His boss was like, if you get all your assignments done, you can write about whatever you want. And he immediately would transition to writing about craft beer, and then kind of just sprung off from there.
That's cool. Who else is on? Do you remember some of the other folks on there?
Yeah. I think Emily, she from Bentley, she's out in Colorado. She was really cool to talk to. She could just talk forever. So listening to her story was really interesting.
She's a fermentology. Is that fermentology?
Yeah, they have like a TTB certified lab. That's really cool. And I really enjoyed Rachel's story. She was a marine biologist, and now she works for a brewery in Florida. So she's kind of has like that kind of background. And then Stephanie, it was really interesting story with beer writing and how pivotal that kind of talent can be in shedding awareness and conveying thoughts and ideas for people in the industry, especially with everything that's been going on with pushing for diversity in the last 5 years or so. She's had some really good pieces that I encourage people to go read. And then Adam's story is really cool. I really do think that just like everybody's story is really interesting. It was very hard to narrow it down and then try and pick people from different states, kind of all over, people who are different ages, different races, different talents, backgrounds, when they entered the industry, all that kind of stuff. It was
yeah, I think it really like ties pretty well in with the whole, with what you guys are doing. You're pushing for diversity in the industry, and it just like ties in to show people that like, yeah, it's everybody can do beer. Beer is for everybody. It's not just like for like one group of people. So I mean, I think this is one of the coolest things I've seen like come down the line. Like, Rachel, how did you get into beer?
It was an accident. I came from an art background, and I was trying to move back to Maryland from South Carolina. And I saw a job for photographer and social media manager. So I was like, okay, I can still use my degree of photography, but then kind of break into a marketing world. And that's how I got started at Duclaw. Duclaw has still been the only brewery I've ever worked for. I'm pretty thankful for that. It's a great spot. I feel very nurtured. They invest a lot in me. I've kind of learned so much about not only beer, but marketing in general through my time at Duclaw.
You've really like moved up the scale there too, right? I mean, you started just doing like, but you do all the media campaigns for them basically, right now?
Yeah. Now I'm the marketing manager. It's myself. We have a digital marketing associate, Eleanor, who takes care of our social media. We have a kick-ass designer, Tyler McCoy, who does all of our label art. And then we contract 212 Communications, Madeline, who
That's Madeline.
Have the position that I had, who moved on to that company. We contract them now. So while she isn't on our payroll directly, she still works with us very closely, as well as Marla from 212 Communications, who is the source behind all of our word puns and great copy and press releases and stuff like that. So it's a small knit team, but together we have big ideas.
You guys really get the word out. Amethyst, how did you start? Well, we're talking about how people got opportunity awaiting or happening or whatever.
Well, so when I was little, as the youngest child, my job was to get beers from the refrigerator for my dad. You always cracked them open. You got the first little sip, but they were definitely like Schwill, and in the mid 90s, Brewers Alley opened, and Barley and Hops opened in Frederick, and I never got the case of Beast thing, like like when you're young and you're like, yeah, like I would see Honey Brown, and it just seems so exotic.
Right.
So yeah, like I Honey Brown and Sierra Nevada just were like the way I navigated partying. I could sip it. I was like, oh, you don't know about this? It was just responsible drinking at a young age, and it from there just became kind of my thing. I'll just go for like the big fancy beer. And I've been really, since I was like 16, I have drank craft beer or microbrews. See?
Look at that. That was only like 2 years ago.
Right? Yeah.
Well, look how far you've come in 2 years, Amethyst. That's unbelievable. Wow. That is unbelievable. Well, this is fun, and I'm really excited for this weekend. I think we'll all have a good time. I hope to see a lot of people come out. I see it's getting pretty good response on the interwebs, so that's good. So everybody watching, we're going to share this to a couple other spots, but we would really like to see people come out and support Pink Boots and overall support diversity in craft. I think that's really where this goes. It's bigger. That part of it is bigger than just this beer. I think it should mushroom into something bigger.
Well, in this event and our next event, which is a bowling party, they're actually super family friendly. They're cost efficient. You're talking about inclusion, just making beer. It's simple and easy and enjoyable. I'm really excited to just. I've been telling people it's tailgating, but you're not It's beer gating.
Right.
We had a great response. We had a flyer up at the Baltimore Craft Beer Festival and lots of interest on what's this? What's going on? I hope to, I love what you do, Rob. You definitely reinvent what it means to like what an event is. It doesn't have to be over the top. It doesn't have to be a lot of effort. It can just be good, solid people drinking good, solid beers.
Yeah, and it's just good to get the word out, I feel like. So, yeah, I'm excited. I'm glad we decided on doing this. Hopefully the weather will be good. It won't be too cold, but you can always dress for the cold. You can't dress for the heat. So, there you go.
I spent most of 2020 and the winter of 2021 drinking outside in snow with my friends, trying to be COVID safe. So I actually hope that was one of the things we, from the past 2 years, that moved forward, what we find, how we think of being outside. Like I'm bringing my little R2D2 heater, my little, we're going to bring that just in case. But I hosted tons of bonfires and beer shares in my yard with snow on the ground, and we put tarps down so people could get to the toilet, but everyone knew we were just hanging outside.
Yeah. I mean, well, they say that if you watch any of the newscasts, like that part of it really sent people outside. Remember for a while early on, people couldn't find bicycles because everybody was out. Everybody bought a bike because they didn't want to be inside anywhere and that kind of stuff, like last spring and that kind of stuff. So, yeah, I think it's good. And what's better than drinking beer outside? Nothing, basically.
Doing it in costume with cars and popcorn and
a movie.
And Rob Goss.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that end part, but the early part you're right about. So very cool. Well, I thank you, ladies. Always a pleasure to talk to you. I'll see you guys on Saturday, and we'll see what goes from there. If you guys have more projects, just let me know, because I always want to support you guys. I think you guys are great. So I appreciate everything you guys do for me. So there you go. Cheers. Diet Coke.
Thanks for having us.
Have a good night, guys. Good seeing you. I'll see you Saturday.
Yeah, see you Saturday.
All right. All right. That's fun. So Saturday at 3, come join us. We're going to have a good time. Amethyst will be there. Rachel will be there. We're going to have donation buckets out. So please come throw a couple bucks into the donation buckets for these guys. They're doing a lot of good work for craft and craft beer in general. So I will see everybody Saturday. Tomorrow night, don't forget, I have Charlie Stein. We're going to be mixing some drinks with Old Line Spirits. And then Thursday, we're heading south where it's a little warmer. We're going to talk to some folks over at Sweetwater. And until then, I will see you guys later. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for watching.